Hi everyone, you're welcome back to my channel. This is 401 Styling. Today on the channel I'm going to be sharing with us how to cut a Bubu gown just like the one you're seeing on the screen with a scrub neckline or V neckline. Okay, so for this you can make use of a crepe fabric, a silk fabric, any relaxed or flexible fabric of your choice, and you're going to be needing up to 2 to 3 yards depending on the size of the person you're working with. Okay, so the measurement also determine. Now the first thing you want to do now is to fold your fabric into 4, okay, because we are going to be cutting both the front and the back together. Okay, then after that you take the gown length. Okay, so for this fabric now I want to start my measurement from the lower part, reason being that I want the design to show. Okay, so I already fold my fabric into 4. I'll start my measurement from the base, just like I've said, back to the upper part. Okay, because this person's measurement is quite shorter than the length of the fabric, so I'll just go ahead and take the gown measurement from the lower part. Because of this design, I want all of the design to show. Okay, so I'm going to mark the length now, just like you see me doing. I'll mark the length and I'll chalk it and cut out the excess. We are still going to make use of this fabric at the upper part because this person's size is quite small. That is why I was able to manage 2 yards. So please, when you're doing your own, you should have at least 2.5 yards. Okay, so that you'll be able to make use of a fabric, except if you are going to be combining it or using another fabric to cut the scrub on the neckline. Okay, so now after cutting out the excess, the next thing we are going to do now is to work on the neckline. All right, so and as for the neckline, we are going to be drafting both the front and the back together. All right, but by the time we want to cut it, we are going to separate the neckline or the fabric. Okay, so now you lay your fabric flat, hold it down with pin. This my fabric is kind of shaking, okay, or moving, I don't know. So the next thing you want to do now is to take your shoulder measurements divided by 2 like this. Then after that you decide on the length of the sleeve. Okay, we assume you are cutting both the sleeve together, so I'll just use all of the measurements I have here, and from there I'll go down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope. After that, I'm going to create or plot my neckline. I'm using 3 inches by 2 inches for the back neckline, and for the front neckline is going to be different. Okay, after that now connect with a curve like this to form the round neckline. Okay, then now for the front neckline, you're going to start from this top this way and measure down to 7 inches. Okay, so from the 2 inches you can mark 5 inches, you can mark 6 inches. This depends on how deep you want the neckline to be, but at the same time you don't want the neckline to be too deep. All right, so from here now you go in by 1 inch. So 1 inch multiplied by 2, that is 2 inches. So whatever you mark there is going to be multiplied by 2, so you don't want it to be too wide. So from there you are going to connect to the neck width, just like you see me doing. Okay, so that will be for our front and this other one will be for the back. All right, so when you want to cut, we cut the back first, separate the fabric, then cut the front. So but before that we need to connect our shoulder slope. So to connect the shoulder slope, just like I'm doing now, you mark from the neck width to the 1 inch we took earlier and you connect like so. All right, so after that now the next thing you want to mark is the bust point area. Okay, the bust point area, you measure it from the shoulder plus 1 inch, but it is optional. You can decide not to mark, you can decide not to add the 1 inch. All right, so I'm going to chalk it like this and I'm going to connect. So this will also serves as our sleeve opening. All right, so from here to here is going to be our sleeve opening, and from here to here we are going to join it down to the gown length. So from this point now you can decide to come in by 1 or 2 inches. Okay, so to make the sleeve area more pronounced, okay, this depends on the amount of fabric you're working with. You can go in as much as 3, 4 or 5 inches, but because this fabric is just I'm trying to manage this fabric, so there will be no need for that. I'm just going to fold this part in like this using 1 inch. All right, just like the regular Bubu that we used to do. Okay, so but if you want to maintain that same, you can just do that. Okay, so after which you have cut out your shoulder slope this way, you cut out the back. Then if you want to make use of this method, you are just going to cut this side down to the gown length, but because this one I just want to maintain this measurements, So I'll notch this place now so that I will know where exactly my sleeve opening is. Then I'm going to open up this one. Remember, I folded into 4. So now you're going to separate the front from the back. Okay, you separate the 2 fabric because we already cut out the back. Now we want to cut the front neckline. So you arrange your fabric carefully this way. All right, then after which you have arranged it, you align it, you make sure that the shoulder is the same thing. Then you now cut out the front neckline. Okay, so I'm going to confirm my measurement once again before I cut it out. After cutting it out, this is what is going to look unfold, and by the time you open it up, you are going to have something like this. It's going to have a V, but this part is going to be wide. This is 2 inches. Remember, we mark 1 inch. So whatever you do, multiply by 2 is what you have. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do now is to join the front and the back shoulder together. All right, place it on each other and join it together before we now proceed. So after joining, this is what it's going to look like. This is what you're going to have. So the next thing we want to do now is to measure around this neckline so that we are going to cut a fabric that we are going to use for the neckline. So to make this easier, you can simply just fold the neckline into 2 this way, place it on each other and mark carefully. All right, you want to take your time to measure this neckline round. So whatever you have, multiply by 2 because we folded the neckline or the fabric into 2 rather. So whatever measurement you have now, you're going to use it to cut out a strip of fabric like this, which is going to be like about 2 to 3 inches wide. Okay, 2.5 to 3 inches wide, because by the time you stitch down 0.5, you are going to have 2 inches left or 2.5 inches left. Then you're going to make sure that it is longer than the measurement you measure around the neckline. Okay, so after that, now the next thing you want to do is to place the right side on the right side of the fabric like this. And when you are placing it, make sure that the beginning of this aligns and it overlaps. Okay, because you are going to be sewing it and turning it to the other side like this. And meanwhile, the fabric should be on fold. All right, and if your fabric is not on fold, you can simply join 2 fabrics together. Okay, then you pin it round just like you see me doing. So the beginning of the neckline, that 2 inches area, and the hand should overlap. All right, so this is the back. This is how it's going to look like. So you're going to start your sewing from here round back to this point. All right, so you turn it to the right side again just to confirm your measurements. Then make sure that this part like this overlap a little bit. All right, so whatever you do on the wrong side will reflect on the right side. So after that, you are going to join, and I'm done joining. This is what I'm going to have. I remove my pins and I have my neckline like this. Okay, so the next thing you are going to do now is to fold in, you flip in the fabric inward, but before that you need to notch this point. Okay, these 2 areas, you're going to notch it carefully, just like the way we used to notch for our welt pocket when we want to turn it inside out. Okay, if you do not know how to make a welt pocket, I'll drop a link in the description box for us so you can check it out. So you turn to the wrong side again and you align the fabric, you place it on each other like this. So make sure it aligns at least a little bit. Okay, so after this now, you are going to cut off the excess. We have excess, then you are going to arrange it on each other. So this little piece of fabric we have here, I'm going to zoom in my camera so that we can see clearly. Okay, this little piece of fabric, okay, when you watch the welt pocket video, you're going to understand this part very well. So you're going to run your stitch on this line like this. Remember, we already notched it. This is because we want it to be easier for us by the time we turn it inside out. So you can always use a pin to hold it down, and you take it to your sewing machine and stitch it down. So I'm going to do that now and come back to show us what it looks like. So guys, I'm done and this is what I have. All right, so this will automatically give you the shape you want at the front. Okay, so whatever you do on this neckline at the back will reflect at the front. So if you don't want it to overlap too much, depends on the way you arrange it. Okay, so after this now, you are going to top stitch, although it is optional, but it just give you a neat finishing around that neckline area. Okay, so I'm going to trim off this now, and later I'm going to overlock or weave the inside of the dress. So now the next thing you want to do now is to take to join it together by the side. Go ahead and confirm your sleeve opening once again. You can use your bust measurements, bust point measurements, or you just decide on how wide you want it to be. Then I'm going to take 1 inch on this side, on both sides of the dress. Okay, so the remaining allowance, I'm going to use it to fold the sleeve opening from the shoulder down to the notch area, and I'm going to fold and secure the hem of the dress. Okay, so guys, we are going to fold this in with 1 inch. All right, and this is after which you have joined the two sides together, so the allowance will automatically show and you'll be able to stitch your dress. So guys, that'll be all for the tutorial. As you can see, it is simple, easy, and our dress is ready in less than 20 minutes. So please, if you find this tutorial helpful, kindly click on the like button, subscribe to this channel, turn on your notification bell, check the description box for another interesting tutorial. Thank you.